Hello fellow anglers. I'm going to do a review for the Lose Custom Lite spinning reel in the 100 size. The initial release was only in the 300 and 200 size, but more recently they came out with a 100 size, which I thought would make a great option for ultralight fishing. Uh, some of the things I read about online about this reel was initial knocking when you first get it out of the box and put the handle on. There was like a knocking on the inside, and some of the other issues was the line getting caught underneath the spool, and unfortunately I experienced both of these when I got the reel out. I put the handle on and I could feel a knock on the inside, and then also there was some friction between on something and the spool, because as I turned the handle I could hear the drag out alarm, so I could tell the spool was turning as I was turning the handle, which was turning the rotor. The rotor, which is not supposed to be touching the spool at all. So, but after some initial turning the handle or readjusting the spool a few times, then all of the friction went away. So anyway, so for some of the positives, I would have to say that the initially when you first get it out of the box, it's kind of rough to turn the handle because of the factory grease. But once you wear the grease in, the reel is buttery smooth when you're turning the handle. And then overall, the reel felt pretty solid. It looks pretty nice for a spinning reel, and it's quite light for the small size. But even though there's all these great pluses to it, there was some quite a bit of negatives to it. So I'll go over the negatives now. Like I read some online about the reel knocking when you first get it out, and the line wrapping underneath the spool. And so I did experience the knocking, but it went away. And when I would cast, I guess some of the line would fall off the spool a little bit before you closed the bell, and it would cause some of the line to wrap around the spool. And then if you didn't catch that and you just started turning the handle, then the line would get stuck underneath the spool. So a few times I would cast, look down to make sure, and if I did see the line going around the spool, I would pull it out almost like an overrun. I would grab the line and pull it, and then close the bell. But I don't really experience anything like that on any of my other reels, so that's kind of weird. The other negative was, even though the reel feels really smooth the majority of the time that you're turning the handle, when you put it under some load, like reeling in a underspin or like a little baby crankbait or something like that, there'll be a small tick. I'm not sure if it's the gears or the handle, but there's a really light tick as you're reeling it in. It's every once in a while. It's not every cast. It would be every other cast I could feel a little tick in there, and so I'm not really sure what that was coming from. At this price point, I really would not want to feel or hear any weird, strange noises. Um, and then some of the other issues that I came across was the foot, the reel stem foot that goes into the reel seat was way too big for ultralight, the current versions of ultralight rods, reel seats, or even light powered rods. I could not fit this in my St. Croix and some of my Falcon rods, and then it wouldn't fit in my TFO rod. The only rod this would fit in was the Falcon Evo, which has a really old style reel seat for it, which was kind of a big negative. I was trying to use it on my St. Croix Avid Panfish Lite, 6.4 Lite fast action, and I kind of got it to fit in there for a good half the time I was using it. And then when I set the hook on what ended up being a snag, the reel just popped right out of the reel seat, which was kind of scary. Like if it had fallen, it would have landed right on concrete and it could have broke. So the main thing I would say is they would need to fix the reel seat issue, the foot, the line wrapping around the spool, and maybe, well, mainly those two things. The tick from time to time is not that big of a deal, but mainly I would say fix the foot being too big and the line wrapping around the spool. Other than that, it's a pretty nice roll.